Hi, I'm Keith and welcome to another episode of Keith Young Knives. I'm pretty excited today. I got my carbide ball end mill from Carl at Lakeshore Carbide. So I'm going to do a little review on it and show you guys what we're going to be milling today. This right here is the new hard mill ball end mill. Hopefully I can get this in focus. It's 2 flute. Carl designed it especially for hard milling, which is my Rockwell SV90 right now is Rockwell 62. So we're going to give this a whirl today on my skinning knife. We'll see how this baby works. Pretty excited. This is what we're going to be doing today. This is my skinning knife. This right here has been surface ground on my surface grinder to get it down to, I think it's 0.075, I believe. And right here it's 61 Rockwell. I have a video on it when I heat treated it. That'll be uploaded shortly also. So I drew some lines on here so we can see about what's going to be going on. It's going to be hollow grinding right around through here on both sides. Hopefully I get it even. So we'll see how it goes. I did it before with Lakeshore Carbide's regular ball end mill, and I could only get 1.5 sides roughly before it started to deteriorate on the edge. This right here was this isn't the full skinning knife. As you can see, I accidentally snapped the handle off. But this one right here has been heat treated after part of it was ground. And that's the same kind of look I'm trying to look for now after, but I want to get rid of this color, which sometimes the color makes it good, sometimes I'm not sure what I really want with this part. But yeah, I got another, there's another one around. What happens is when it does one side perfect, you get nice straight lines and even lines and everything, and then the next side there, it starts to get wore out and chipped out, and it leaves dents and it leaves pieces in there, and it doesn't look very good. Because I've done that with a couple. What I was doing was I would leave 0.03 to 0.04 left before heat treat. Then after heat treat, I would take the ball end mill and go over it again to get it down to 0.02 on the blade right here. And then that seemed to wear him away a little bit. So I called Carl at Lakeshore Carbide and asked him if he had anything that would do what I'm doing, and he says they're just making one right now, and he'll send it to me as soon as he gets it. So that's it. And we're going to give it a whirl. He recommended running it dry with just air, for cooling it, no liquids. Speeds and feeds I'm going to have to work with a little bit because I want to make sure I get everything right. So we'll be back after I get that figured out. I just got off the phone with Carl from Lakeshore Carbide, and he helped me out with my speeds and feeds on this new ball end mill. He also gave me some advice on setting in the ball end mill and the collet. So I'll share some of that advice with you guys. He said to make sure that you get it pretty much as close as you can get it in the collet without going in too far. There's a little bevel. Hopefully you can see it right in there. You don't want to get the collet to go any further up in that. He explained that if you go up any further, you'll end up getting shavings that jam up and stick in there, and they'll ruin your collet. Make things pretty terrible. So probably right about there. There, now that's locked in. I'll show you how I set it up for my height. First, I'll give you a little bit of a view maybe on my screen if it'll turn out. I think that's pretty close, maybe not very straight, but well, this is Fusion 360. This is my design, my Skinner knife. And what we're going to do is where you see that blue highlighted, that's where it's going to, I believe I have the other side picked first to do the right side. This is the left side, but this side is the same. So yeah, that's Got my starting point right here in that hole for a point. Right now it's currently not set up the way it should be, probably on the milling machine, because I probably should have something a little more precise. Currently right now what I do is I eyeball that to get it right. I will fix that later. We can do a simulation, which is going to show the blank. I can make that transparent, but get an idea, you guys can see what it's going to do. I am going 0.01 down and 0.01 over. Revolutions are 4,000 revolutions per minute with a feed rate of 40 inches per minute. And I can do my statistics to find out how long it's going to take. Machining time says 5 minutes, which I'm okay with that. We'll see how well this goes. Alright, well, I think you've seen enough of that. This is the transparent. Gives you an idea of what you're going through. Alright, I'm going to close that out. Take you over to the setter. This right here is the setting machine I use. Tool setter. Works very well. It's actually very, very handy. I'll bring this down here to zero it in. Over in here. Turn it on. You probably won't be able to see this, but it's at zero right now. I will lift it up. Sure all that's cleaned off. Wish there was a way to slide that in instead. It would make sure there's no junk underneath it, but bring that back a little bit. And right there, 3.497. I'm using the Tormach PCNC 770. It's my fixture plate. Alright, there's the part in the fixture. I have it set up so it's going to bevel the right hand side of the Skinner knife. I have 2 pins holding onto it. And right here I already zeroed in my X and Y. And I have Tormach's, I believe it's their passive probe. It's the cheaper version. I'll bring it into the frame so you can see it. So that's what we're going to do to get our Z. Bring it over to where I'm going to be machining. Get it close. Probably right about there is where I want to be. I'll bring you over to the screen now. Sorry this is not squared up, but I'm going to try to save a little time here. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be going to probe, changing my, you got to change your tool to 99. It even tells you if you don't, it'll tell you that you need to change it to tool 99. Feed rate 30 inches per minute is what they recommend, so that's what I'll do. Make sure nothing's in the way. It can go down all right. And this button up here is the one I'm going to press. It's going to set my Z height. So I'll go back over to the machine. So you get an idea of what it does. It works pretty well. It's going to go down and come back up a couple times, so I'm going to push that button now. Done. It's all set. They recommend to put that in a plastic bag or something with, and add them little packets in there that absorbs condensation and stuff, because it doesn't take much for the internals of these to rust up. They also recommend too, when you're doing this, to keep the door open. You do not want this spinning. It'll rip the cord off, obviously. So there we go. So I'm going to set my tool number 28 in there now. Should I get it tight? Make sure nothing's on there. They recommend also to just use air. So I'm just going to use the fog buster with the air without using the liquid. We'll see how this is going to go. 20, you're at 40 inches per minute travel. Make sure my feeds are 100%, RPM's at 100%. See if I can get this in any closer. I have a lot of editing to do now. Well, that's as close as I can get with this lens. I'm hoping this is going to work. All right for everybody. All right, double check. Go back to main file. G0Y0X0. I'm putting that in the lines right below it. Enter. That should be lined up where I need it. All right, here we go. All right, it's asking me to put in tool 28. It's in there. I'll get ready to stop it if I have to.
Well, you guys couldn't hear me because of the machining, but what I was saying was that finish is awesome. It's amazing how clear that finish is. And the ball mill is working very well on the one side. And we'll continue to do this, and you'll see how well it lasts through the rest of the process. And in the future to see how many blades I can get with one ball mill. So that finish is very nice.
Pause it for now and come back after it's done. Now look at that finish. That is wicked. 0.01 down, 0.01 over. 5 minutes, that's it. The material's not even hot to the touch. The tool's not warm at all. That was just using air. That's amazing. I wish I had a macro lens to get closer. So cool. Yeah, ignore the green line on my phone. But look at that. That is so cool. Yeah, super excited about this. This will be good. This will save me a lot of time. Lots of time. That went very well. I'm on the same side that I put my logo on, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm using a 1/16 ball end mill. at 10,000 RPMs and 5 inches per minute. I'm not sure if that is correct, but it seems to work very well. I also found out that Lakeshore Carbide has a new high performance engraving ball end mill. That is 0.02. So that'll be an actual finer engraving that you could do with that. So I'm going to give that a try. Specially coated. It should work very well. I'll do a video on that as soon as I get a couple in. So here we go. Oh, the depth of this is 0.003. See if I can get you guys in closer. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, it's too hard to see that. A little too thick maybe. But nice. Very nice. This one here was done with a standard ball end mill. This was the second side of a brand new end mill. So I'm going to take this one and put it on the fixture later and try to see if I can smooth it out a little bit with a brand new end mill. So we'll see how that goes. Hey guys, same blade that I just showed you a little while ago. Look at that, that's all cleaned up. It looks good. This one was Rockwell 61. See if I can get the blade in there. The edge right now is 0.03. I would like it about 0.02. That's just me, I have to work on that, that's all. My fixture's off just a little bit too. I can tell on this side here, this spot right here is a little bit different. Like if you rock from my fingernail over, see right there? It's off that much. And that's because of the way I have my fixture set up. I need to fine tune it a little bit so I can get things centered, because here's my, this is where I start my X, Y, and Z. It's off that point right there. And right now I just eyeball it on the pin when it's in there. So if this happens to be when it's on the pin, come on, focus. If it happens to be a little bit forward or left off center, it's going to turn this either up, this is drastic, but turn it up or turn it down, which is going to change that. So I'll correct that later. All right, there you go.